Hey everyone, Action here. Today we'll be doing a tutorial covering all of the Stellaris precursors so you can know which ones are best for your empires. We'll be covering all of the precursors, how to get them, what to do once you find their anomalies, and also their special projects and synergies with every empire builds. Of course, there are some that are very unique that you can still think about it. However, we'll be covering the main meta builds in the moment and also how all the precursors can improve your builds. This is especially important since in the patch 4.0 the devs have put an option so you can choose which precursors will spawn in your playthrough. And if you're enjoying this, join our navy and help us build something greater. High Command has called for 2,500 new commanders to be enlisted, and your skills and leadership are vital to our mission of defending the universe. So no more Irassian Concordat precursors in every one of your playthroughs. Now you can decide which ones will spawn. And I'm looking at you, Machine Empire mains, that you are definitely looking for that Cybrex precursor. So first we have the general characteristics of all the precursors. All of them will always spawn through anomalies or archaeological sites, depending on their type. They will also have a home system that will give you varying rewards, ranging from relics to ancient megastructures to also very OP worlds. And in some cases they will even grant you an additional specimen for your Grand Archive. First we'll start off with the anomaly precursors, which are 5, and you can discover them, guess what? Through anomalies. And also you can actually have some of their discoveries through modifiers such as AI empires that give you an additional discovery, or you can either buy them from another empire that is willing to sell. Actually, you can also buy from the curators at some point. You can also utilize the minor artifact decision to discover the precursor inside, which will greatly increases your chances of finishing up the precursors. The precursors are galaxy unique, so if other empires discover their anomalies, only one of you will have their home world. This is especially important in multiplayer games, and also when the AI empire is already making progress towards discovering the home system. Because if they somehow discover it before you, you will not get any good rewards from it. And Precursors, my friends, is a game-changing thing. So every anomaly precursor, you'll have to find 6 precursor insights in order to discover their homeworld. Let's start off with the Cybrex, the most popular one, especially because machines ruled the meta for so long. Perhaps now with the Biogenesis released, things are gonna change a little bit. So starting off, we'll have our regular 6 discovery insights, and the homeworld rewards are basically 150 times your monthly unity, 10 years for free, on top of 48 times the engineering output, so 4 years of advanced engineering research for you, on top of 24 months of energy output, a large amount of minor artifacts, and one of the most important parts, the Cybrex Warforged relic. Now what this relic does is, every time you activate it, you'll get a massive amount of alloys in exchange for double the amount of minerals. Every time you activate it, will get stronger and stronger until it will reach a cap. But that cap, my friends, is pretty high, so you can basically run your entire economy off of this relic, especially if you have the astral decision to activate 2 relics at the same time. This way you can have a longer cooldown relic and also the Cybrex Warforge, because the Cybrex Warforge has a pretty low cooldown of only 900 days, so you can pretty much spam it. As a matter of fact, depending on your build, you can actually just have the Cybrex Warform and not care about alloy worlds at all. That is especially true with the Biogenesis release and if you have bioships, because bioships mainly consume food instead of alloys, so you'll actually have an alloy surplus most of the time. But let's not forget that is not all the things that the Cybrex provides you. They also give you a ruined ring world, which has 2 main benefits. The first one is quite obvious. You have a ring world that is semi-completed. So after you have the mega engineering tech, you can repair it and that's it. And second, by having the ruined ring world very early on, you increase your odds of rolling the mega engineering technology, which is one of the most powerful technologies you can have in the game. On top of this, during your discoveries, you have the chance to find 3 special specimens, each one of them giving you different effects. But the most important one is the derelict Cybrex Warform, which will give you plus 10% ship hull points. And that, my friend, is basically equivalent of 5 different technologies. Because, well, ship hull points is a massive part of Stellaris, especially if you're playing in multiplayer, where people try to cheese with bypass weapons, and that is quite strong, to be honest. You will also have, on top of all of these bonuses I already told you, a special project of the secrets of the Cybrex that will grant you the Cybrex mining hub research option, the mega engineering research option, and if you already have that research, you'll grant a massive amount of engineering research. So very good so far. You'll also have the secrets of the Cybrex permanent modifier, and your head of research will have the expertise Voidcraft, which is tremendously good if you are still trying to research your Voidcraft technologies such as ships, starbases, and etc. Now the secrets of the Cybrex itself is kinda meh. It gives you plus 10% mega structure build speed, which is not very much if you consider the Living Metal Edict and also the Master Builder's Ascension perk. But the main benefit here is the Cybrex Mining Hub, which will basically double all of your mining station output if you have a starbase with this building slot. Now, this is especially good if you have the arc furnace in one of your systems. You then build a starbase, build a Cybrex mining hub, and bam, your economy skyrockets. So the Cybrex, my friends, I would say it synergizes very well with every empire in the game, no exceptions, but it synergizes even better with machine empires due to their relic and also the ring world. So if you are tech rushing or even synthetic rushing, I would heavily recommend you try to find the Cybrex as your main precursor. Our second precursor discovered through anomalies is the First League. Now the First League is actually quite good, it's a very underrated precursor. What it gives you upon discovering the home world is basically 120 times the unit output, which you'll see that is a common thing around all the precursors in the game. You'll also have 48 times the society output, 24 times the influence output, and a very large amount of minor artifact rewards. And the home system will contain a size 25 relic world on top of a very good amount of mining stations. Now the relic world is especially good for 2 reasons. The first one, it is a relic world after all, and it gets a massive boost to your research output, at the minimum plus 30%. The second part about this world is that you can repair it as an ancient Monopolis, and that is very powerful. You don't even need to have the Archaeology Project Ascension perk, and on top of that, it is a size 25 world, so a pretty big world nonetheless. Now during the discoveries you can have 3 different specimens. The most powerful one in my opinion is the First League Crew Manifest, which will grant you plus 4% alloys from jobs, and alloys from jobs it isn't a very common modifier, so it's very much appreciated. And the other 2 are kinda good, but not as on the same level as the other one that I said just before. And upon finishing all of the 6 discoveries, you will unlock the special project, which will have a base cost of 6,000 engineering research, and it will grant you the weather control systems technology if you don't have it already, but if you do, you'll get the anti-gravity engineering research option or a very large sum of engineering research. Now the technology is very good, so you can repair your ancient Necromonopolis. On top of that, you'll have the First League filing offices as a research option. Now this building, my friends, it is an Empire unique building that will greatly boost your unit production. So ideally you wanna build this on your bureaucrat world or on your priest world. That will greatly increase your unit production, so don't underestimate it if you happen to find the First League. Our second precursor is one of the most common precursors in my opinion. That is because I've always found them in my first playthroughs. I think I found them like 10 times in a row. It was just ridiculous, but it was tremendously common for me at least. And the Irassian Concordat, what it does is it grants you 120 times the unity output as always, 48 times the physics output, 24 times the minerals output, a very large amount of mining artifact, and the Javorian Pox sample relic. Now this relic, my friends, it's basically the Geneva Convention killer. What it does is, on top of giving you some extra leader lifespan, which is kinda good, it will unlock you the Javorian Pox or orbital bombardment stance. And this is basically bioweapons. You're gonna orbital bombard your enemies with viruses until they're all sick and dead. So coronavirus in the Stellaris, guys. You're just gonna drop the virus nukes. So after you get this magnificent relic of war crimes, you'll have a home system containing a little bit of research and some extra minerals and mining stations, which are not game changing at all. So not a very good reward in my opinion. Now regarding the unique specimens it gives you, the better one is the Irassian Concordat, which will grant you plus 3 stability. Kinda good, but as always not game changing for the Irassians. Now the secrets of the Precursor is where things get good for the Irassians. So never underestimate that 750 minor artifact decision. You ideally want to activate it always if you discover the Irassian Concordat. What it does is, the minor benefits are that you have a boost your next organic pops technology or a boost your society research if you have researched all of the options. But what we get crazy here is first the Irassian naval yards research option, which is a tremendously powerful starbase building, which will basically double all of your shipyard capacities and also give you a plus 20% ship build speed. So it is quite ridiculous. It makes all of your starbases, instead of a size 6 starbase with 6 shipyards producing ships, it is a size 12 starbase. It is kinda ridiculous. Like more than 1 mega shipyard for every 2 starbases that you have. But that is not it, folks. The secrets of the Irassians will give you a plus 20% research speed in biology, so extra good if you are running bioships especially, and also a plus 5% pop growth speed. Now the synergies for the Irassian Concordat, unlike the First League, which is like a general good precursor for every empire in the game, it does not have any specialties, but the Irassians instead are definitely focused on bio empires, especially if you plan to build a strong military revolving around replenishing your losses very quickly. So here I'm looking probably at Galactic Nemesis Ascension perk, or even the Behemoth Fury, where you need to spam out your ships to replenish your losses and increases your crisis points. However, there is also a great contender for Bio Empires that we'll see later on, which are the Baol. Now the Baol is a very strong empire as well, probably stronger than the Irassian Concordat, but all depends on what build you are running. For more aggressive playthroughs, I would heavily recommend the Irassian Concordat above anything else, mainly because of the shipyard build speed and also the shipyard capacity, doubling your production on every single shipyard that you have. Our fourth precursor is the Vultaum Star Assembly, and what it gives you upon discovering their homeworld is, as always, 120 times the unity, 24 times the research output. So the first time we'll have a general research output instead of a field specific one, a large minor artifact reward, and the Vultaum Reality Perforator. Now what this relic does, it has a very good passive effect of minus 10% pop amenities usage. It was kinda better in the last patch. Now that we have a surplus of amenities basically everywhere, it is not that significant, to be honest, but the active effect is very strong. You'll have either plus 40% armor, shield, hull or weapons damage for 2 to 5 years. So it is very randomized, but in all cases you'll have a very good power bonuses to all of your ships for at least 2 years. Now combine that with something like the Astral Action, which enables you to have 2 relics active at the same time, and then you can have some very crazy bonuses and synergies with other relics. Now regarding the discoveries, it will all depend on your empire. There are 2 that for me are in the same level. The Vultaum Virtual Reality video game, which grants you plus 7 amenities in the previous patch. So right now I think the devs have scaled it up to plus 700 amenities, which should be equivalent. And the other one is the Fossilized Vultaum Remains, which will grant you plus 8% consumer goods from jobs or plus 8% energy if you are a Just All Empire. Now both of these specimens are good, but none of them are tremendously good like the Cybrex one that give you plus 10% ship hull points. So their home world benefits will actually be exactly the same as the Irassian Concordat, which will basically have a research and mining station bonuses. As like before, nothing game changing here. Now, like the Irassian Concordat, their main benefits here is the special project, which will grant you a very good amount of physics output, a unique building, which is the Vultaum Reality Computer, which will grant you plus 1 physics research from jobs, and that is very good if you are running a physics-focused planet. On top of that, you'll have the Secrets of the Vultaum Permanent Empire modifier, and what it does is it basically grants you an extra research speed in computing. If you are a machine intelligence, that will be double the output and also increase your mechanical pop assembly, and if you're a hive mind, you'll have a less beneficial bonuses. However, if you are a fanatic materialist empire, you'll have the option to have the deeper Secrets of the Vultaum, which will grant you an even better research speed at the cost of minus 20% happiness. On top of that, you'll have 2 options of gaining 24 times your influence output, more advanced logic if you have the Cosmogenesis Ascension perk, and you have a very high chance of getting a hyper focus trait on your head of research, which is one of the best traits in the game. So for this precursor, it is pretty clear that it is destined towards a fanatic materialist empire. That's why its bonuses are much better, and also empires focused on the physics research. So for me at least, I would prefer to have this one over all of the other ones if I'm rushing the Cosmogenesis Ascension perk for two reasons. The first one is that all of the Cosmogenesis perks go through the physics research, so ideally you want to have more physics than other fields in your research, and on top of that you'll have a very good bonus to your advanced logic if you have the Cosmogenesis Ascension perk. So this precursor synergizes very well with the Cosmogenesis, and also if you are a tech rush empire, it will be beneficial to us. However, I think that the Cybrex would be better in this case, that you're not rushing the Cosmogenesis. Now our final anomaly precursor is the Yuht Empire. As always, it will give you 120 times the unity output, but this time you'll have both energy and mineral at 24 times your monthly output. So kinda good here. You'll also have a large minor artifact reward as always, and you'll have the Yuht Cryo Core relic. Now this relic is very good, especially in the end game, because it reduces your ship upkeep by minus 20% after you activate it. But even if you don't activate it, it will also grant you a plus 20% energy weapon attack speed, which is always nice, especially if you're running bypass weapons to face off the 25 times crisis. So the home system will basically have the same amount of research, minerals and mining stations as the other ones, nothing special here. And regarding the specimens, the best one would be the Yuht Cryopod, which will grant you plus 5% habitability, which can be converted in actual job efficiency if you have the necessary perks from the biomorphosis situation. However, most empires won't have that perk, so in the end it isn't very strong. The other options are kinda meh, as always. However, if you could acquire the Yuht Audio Console, giving you plus 20 physics research in the early game, that could kinda help it a little bit, but it wouldn't be game changing in any single way. Now regarding the special project, you'll have a small amount of society research if you already have the hostile environment adaptation research option. And also you'll have the Yuht astronomical interferometer, which will grant you a bonus to your starbase sensor range and hyperlane detection range, which makes kinda like a nerfed version of the sentry array in your starbases. It's kinda good if you don't have the sentry array, but after you build one it is very much useless. So far this precursor is one of the worst precursors you can have in the game. The only benefit will be the passive effects if you have a better active relic, but even so I wouldn't recommend you get this precursor if you happen to choose your own. Now the synergies here, it synergizes with everything because it is bad, so yeah. Not the most game change bonuses you can have, just a regular benefit to your empire overall. Now moving on to the archaeology sites precursors, here we have two of them, which are the Baol and the Zroni, starting with the beloved Baol. Now, it is very safe to say that Baol is one of the best, if not the best precursor to have if you are going for Bio-Ascension. And the reason, my friends, is very simple. Upon achieving the home world, you'll grant the last Baol relic, which upon activating, you can terraform any of your planets into Gaia world and also receive a small population of the Baols. So basically you can have, if you don't have like 50 planets, you can quickly have all of your planets turned into Gaia world without the World Shaper Ascension perk, which is tremendously good. The home system also has a size 20 tomb world, so basically you can terraform it into something of your preference. Actually, if you activate the relic, you can terraform the same tomb world into a Gaia world, so it's pretty bonkers. And the secrets project will grant you the Baol organic plant research option, which is fantastically good for food production empires. Now what this building does, it grants you +1 food and +0.5 consumer goods from farmers, which is tremendously powerful, man. Like if you are running a Ascension Empire, you should have the Baol. It will greatly spin things up for you, I'm telling you. Now the other modifiers for the Baol are kinda irrelevant, just a basic society research output and also a terraforming cost reduction. Nothing out of the way here. But you already have a very good bonuses with the relic, the tomb world, which you can terraform, the extra pops you gain from activating the relic. On top of the building, it is just fantastic, man. And the other archaeological site precursor is the beloved Zroni. Now, Psionic Ascension is very underwhelmed at the moment. The only ascension that has not been reworked so far. However, this precursor is basically the psionic precursor. There is nothing we can say about this, it's kinda just that. You'll have a lot of archaeological dig sites that will grant you zero production, which synergizes with the psionic ascension. Upon reaching their home world, you'll have the psionic archive relic, which will grant you a passive effect of -50% reach shroud cooldown, which basically means you can access the shroud, get the shroud boons or negative effects or good technologies much quicker than regular psionic empires. You'll also have better shroud odds, so very good chances of rolling those beneficial modifiers. And you also have the Zero Additives Edict, which will kinda boost your economy a little bit more. And the active effects are, well, you can have +20% ship weapons damage for 5 years, which is kinda good, right? You can level up your ruler, or you can have the statecraft guidance for 5 years that will boost your plant stability, reduce the edict upkeep, and increase the government effect attraction. To be honest, the ship weapons damage seems to be the most powerful one. However, it only stays active for 5 years and the relic cooldown is 10 years, so you can't loop it around. However, if you have enough astral thread production, you can keep 2 relics active at the same time, so perhaps you can manage having this one active as well. Now, the main benefits from the Zroni does not come from the home system, which only grants you +5 zero deposit, kinda bad, but it comes from the Zroni Stormcaster starbase building, and what it does is it basically debuffs your enemy ships tremendously. What it does, it gives the enemies -100% shields for... What it does, it gives the system +100% shield nullification, reduces the sublight speed by -50%, accuracy and fire rate by -30% as well, and if you happen to have the Arco-Engineers, it will grant -10% daily hull to enemy ships. So my friends, you can basically slowly kill your enemy ships just from having the starbase building. Now, this precursor synergizes with 2 builds, the first one obviously being the psionics, there is nothing much to say about this, and the second one would be turtle empires, just because the starbase building, yeah, it is that strong, the best starbase building to have, and now that we have the deep space citadels, eternal vigilance, and all those crazy modifiers to our starbases, you can build the dream choke point in the Gate and hold off countless crises whilst your empire lives forever happy, safeguarded by the starbases. And a shout out to our first founding admirals. Their financial and strategical support are fueling the non-stop expansion of our armada, and they shall be forever remembered. Want your name in our legacy? Hit that join button and become a part of our great empire. Founder members are only available until the end of this month and will have exclusive benefits the bigger our empire gets, so your early devotion will be greatly rewarded. And for those of you that have the Cosmic Storms DLC enabled, and I know there aren't a lot of people that like Cosmic Storms or that played with it enabled, However, you'll have two precursors, the first one being the Akkaria Convention. What it gives you is a rune habitat and also the Tempest Invocator relic or a continental world. Now, the relic itself is only useful if you plan on using the cosmic storms, because what it does is gives you a base of plus 10% monthly unity, kinda good, reduction of minus 50% ship upkeep, okay, but upon activating you can choose a system to create a Nexus Storm, and you also have a plus 100% cosmic storm repulsion effect. So if you somehow want to troll an empire by sending them a Nexus Storm, yeah, this is your best option. However, the active cost is kinda nuts. You have to pay 50,000 energy credits and also sacrifice one of your scientists. So yeah, my friends, if you have all of your scientists leveled up, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to sacrifice one of these good boys. The home system is completely garbage. It gives you plus 3 Zro and physics, meh. And the Precursor special project, you can either have the true potential of the Akkaria or a huge amount of unity. What it gives you is plus 5% unity, plus 30% chance of Patriotic Institute of Celebration, like what? And 20% chance that every 20 years a pop dies and spawns a no Nexus Storm. So what is this? The true potential is very garbage, my friends. If you somehow want to go for a Cosmic Storm build, perhaps this one can help you. I honestly am not very fan of this. I don't think it synergizes very well with anything beyond activating Cosmic Storms, of course. So if you have scientists to maintain a storm in a place for a very long time, you want to troll an AI empire or your friend, go ahead, take the civic. The passive effects are kinda good from the relic, but everything else is just not there. And the final precursor are the Inetian Traders. What it gives you upon reaching the home world, it is just a pretty garbage relic. The Disturbance Oppressor, giving us plus 15% monthly physics research, and also upon activating, you'll be able to repel cosmic storms around your empire capital. Like, that's it, literally. I don't know how they thought this would be on the same level as something like the Cybrex, but okay. Upon finishing the special project, you'll have the option to build the Hyperlane Detailer in your starbases, which will increase the sublight speed by plus 10%. Kinda okay, not useless, but it's still not very impactful. And we'll also have the Secrets of the Inetian Traders Empire modifier, which will grant you minus 5% market fee. Now this market fee might be the best perk from this precursor. Overall, a very weak precursor to have on the same level or even weaker than the Akkaria. Because the Akkaria, we could make sense, like it is a very troll empire revolving around summoning Nexus Storms all around the place, but this one kinda doesn't do anything good. It is just like very negligible modifiers here and there. I don't recommend you take this precursor, never, to be honest, unless the devs massively buff it. And that's it for this tutorial, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If it provided value to you, don't forget to subscribe or like, and comment down below which tutorial you want to see next, because I will start preparing it for the next week. And as always, my friends, I will see you guys next time.